Over at DC Comics, the publisher has released countless event storylines within the past few years that oftentimes don't live up to their full potential. But I think DC is in a much different spot with their latest event, Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths. My name is Arakko, Braddock, and today let's go ahead and celebrate the conclusion of a wonderful landmark event storyline from Joshua Williamson, Daniel Sampere, and DC Comics. But before we get deeper into the video, I want to go ahead and encourage you to consider subscribing to our channel if you like our content, and why not go ahead and hit that like button since you're already here. And I want to start off our review today by introducing some of the context behind Dark Crisis on Infinite Earth 7 with DC Comics solicitation texts. The Great Darkness is defeated, but the final war has only just begun between the remaining heroes and Deathstroke's Dark Army. Who will be left standing? The Justice League and Infinite Earths have returned, but at what cost? Do not miss this shocking conclusion that launches the DCU into 2023. Next up, I want to go ahead and read off our creative team for Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths number 7. This issue is written by Joshua Williamson, mainly illustrated by Daniel Sampere, but we also have art from Jack Herbert, Giuseppe Camuncoli, Cam Smith, and Rafa Sandoval. This issue is colored by Alejandro Sanchez, Matt Herms, Romulo Fajardo Jr., and Alex Guimarães. We have letters from Tom Napolitano and a cover from Daniel Sampere and Sanchez that I'm going to go ahead and show off right now. Here's a look at the gorgeous cover for Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths number 7, teasing the new publishing initiative over from DC called Dawn of the DCU. And also, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the interior art in the issue. Big thanks over to the folks at Adventures in Poor Taste for posting these comic book previews so incredibly quickly. And now, without further ado, let's jump right into some of the preview pages for the issue. First off, I really appreciate how the issue directly kind of references the first chapter right out of the gate. It just makes this final chapter feel incredibly intentional, and it gives this kind of, bigger element than the sum of its parts, with such, incredible lighting effects and such wonderful facial expressions captured so beautifully from artist Daniel Sampere. I love how this issue pays homage to so many different elements of, Dick Grayson and Nightwing over the years, as well as Slade Wilson. When we get to the giant conflict between, Nightwing, Robin, Dick Grayson, and Slade Wilson, it's an incredibly climactic moment that echoes several decades of DC continuity and gives me that sense of depth that I'm looking for in a modern comic book event. Also, just, the way that the artist Daniel Sampere is able to capture so many characters on the page, but still make the page look, natural and easy to follow is just incredible. This is some of the best art, some of the most ultra like slick and defined art I've seen over at DC Comics. And I can't wait to see what Daniel Sampere is going to do next as an artist. I particularly love the double page spread where he's able to show off a plot thread that happens about kind of halfway through the issue that really kind of captured my imagination on the comic book page. There are so many revelations throughout this issue, and I don't want to give any of them away, but I just really enjoyed all of the kind of twists and turns, with DC's continuity. The fact that there was so much buildup to Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths with Justice League Incarnate, I think really start to pay off here, because we start seeing, elements of the Multiversity Guidebook, elements of the Great Darkness and the lore all really start to converge together in one place that feels kind of holistic. And really, I think that that's where writer Joshua Williamson comes in. I think the plotting of this series is just so kind of robust and held together, so frank. There are so many great scenes with Nightwing in particular. But I love how the focus is not just singularly on Nightwing in this issue. There's great moments for Black Adam. There's really fantastic moments for Deathstroke, both of the Flash characters, Hal Jordan. And I'm just shocked at how much Joshua Williamson was able to squeeze inside of just one issue. In addition to all the fascinating plot developments that happened throughout the issue, and in addition to DC making good on the promise of introducing the interesting new status quo for Nightwing, we also get a tease at what's next for DC Comics in 2023. This tease is really beautiful and has kind of a fascinating look at what DC's maybe next comic book event storyline is going to look like. This is one of the funnest parts of the issue, and when this kind of outro sequence ends, it simply says to be continued in 2023. I don't want to give away any of the big plot reveals in this issue because I want you to go ahead and dive in for yourself and enjoy all of these epic comic book moments that are captured so perfectly from Daniel Sampere and Joshua Williamson. So at the end of the day here, I am just absolutely thrilled at how Sampere and Williamson were able to go ahead and wrap up this massive storyline. There was so many plot elements to squeeze into this issue, but I just feel like this comic book event as a whole has felt less forced because of all the buildup that's led to the big story. I love how this series has kind of naturally incorporated elements of, Shadow War and so many parts of DC's continuity that are just synthesized into one story. I hope going forward that Joshua Williamson will stay on DC Comics for a very long time, and as well as Daniel Sampere, and I can't wait to kind of read this entire comic book event in a collected form. And I think that'll just about do it for our review. So I want to know, did you love this comic book event as much as I did? What did you think about some of the big plot reveals over in this final issue of Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths? And were you as surprised as the outro sequence as I was? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be back really soon for more excellent DC comic content. Stay tuned.